What up, people? What's good for the day? I hope everybody's having a good one. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you've prayed. I hope you've talked to your loved ones, ate something good, exercised, all that. Read a book, read the Bible. Something I've been thinking about kind of for a while. I see jokes flying around. Some of them are funny. I like them. There's a term, old head. You hear people with that statement that's saying, okay, boomer. Things are funny sometimes, but I think the seriousness in some of these jokes is not funny, and I'll explain what I mean. With age comes wisdom. You've had people who are old have had time to live. They've seen things you've yet to see. They have experiences you have yet to have. They've done things you haven't done yet. They've been places you haven't been yet. With age comes wisdom because of experience, right? There's things that I've gone through now at my age that I had no idea or no clue on at 18, 19, and 20. I was clueless. I didn't know anything. I'm not saying I know anything now, but I definitely knew nothing then. I remember when I was growing up, every time my mom would tell me something, every time she would give me instruction or take something from me or warn me against doing something or stop me from doing something, boy, I used to get so mad. I'd be super tight. Look, my mom was dumb strict. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't burp the wrong way without her knowing. She was on top of her game. I always thought she was so strict, like it used to make me so mad until I had children of my own. See, that experience of having children gave context to my mom's approach. And so now what I thought was dumb, I can now look back on and go, man, there's a lot of wisdom in some of the things she did. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it at all. It made me mad. So why do I talk about this? There's a disrespect toward old people, and we don't honor our old, and that needs to stop. So let me deal with it. Let me deal with it this way. I'm gonna deal with it in two different ways. First, I'm gonna deal with the black community, right? In the black community, being old is seen as a bad thing. I'm not saying by all black people, right? I'm not going to speak for all of us and just say all of us think the same way. But in the black community in general, and you can see it, especially with young people now, it's like, oh, that old dude talking about. He ain't talking about nothing. He old. That's how it was done back in your day, old timer. Now, I'm not going to use the language that some of these cats use, but you get it. You know what I'm saying. Here's the problem with that. There's things these people know that they can impart onto us that can make our life better. We don't have to go through the struggles that they went through. We don't have to have the slip-ups they had. We don't have to make the mistakes that they made because we have their experience to pull from if we respect them. The problem is, in the black community, there's not enough respect given to our older, wiser crowd. Being young is seen as the thing to be. This whole idea of, 30's the new 20, 40's the new 30. Look, hogwash on all that. I don't believe none of that. I don't subscribe to none of that. I'm 40. That's what I am. 40's not the new nothing. 40's the new 40. That's what I am. I always thought when I was younger, I wanted to get old until age started creeping up on me quickly, and then I realized I wanted to be old too fast. But the one thing I will say is I don't want to go back to being young. I reminisce. I remember those times. There's times I would like to go back to, I remember I used to live with my Aunt Teresa We was living in Bed-Stuy. We lived on Quincy. I miss my Aunt Teresa. She passed away some years ago. I would love to go back to those times and see her, but not just for the sake of being young. And this is why I've realized as I get older, I actually enjoy the process of aging. And the reason I enjoy the process of aging is the things that I've learned along the way, the wisdom that I've gotten along the way. And there's still a lot I don't know. More I will learn. This is something I believe that younger people should pull from. Stop looking at these elderly people like this is a bad thing, like they're the scourge, like they're in your way. These are the people who paved the way for you. Now, on a grander scale, Americans in general don't honor the old like other countries do. Countries like Japan, right? Again, now I dealt with the black community as a community within a community, but as Americans in general, we don't honor our old like other cultures do. Because of that, there's a lot we're missing out on. There's a lot these people have to teach us. My grandfather was laid to rest last year. World War II vet. Mumford Point Marine. For those of you who don't know anything about that, look it up. It's an honor for me to say that that's my grandfather. Part of what's considered the greatest generation. Some of which paid the ultimate sacrifice, never got to meet their grandkids or their kids. The lessons I learned talking to this man over the years, different gems that he drop on me every now and again. Incredible lessons. I'll give you one of them. I remember talking this, and this was a brief conversation. This wasn't even a long conversation. I remember talking to my grandfather, and he was good well into his 80s. He got Alzheimer's, and once Alzheimer's starts to set in, that just takes over. I think, I can't correct me, maybe one of my family members can comment on this. I think he was like 96 when he was laid to rest. I could be mistaken. But I remember asking him about, just because, like I said, until Alzheimer's set in, he was a vibrant dude for his age. He got around good. And I remember talking to him about that. And he was, pretty much telling me that he always held a job. He was always doing something. He said, a lot of people retire and do absolutely nothing. But, a lot of times when that happens, when you do nothing, you waste away because you feel like you don't have a purpose. Yo, that's some wisdom right there. So I did some digging when he said that. You know me, you know how I do. And different studies have shown people who retire and do absolutely nothing after retirement, like actually retire and do nothing, normally have health issues, sicknesses, and they normally die shortly thereafter. People who retire and still go work, do something. I'm not saying you got to do hard labor, but do something, have some kind of purpose. They normally live longer, whatever that thing may be. And I'm not saying that that is the case for everyone, right? Different things like that. Like to you, that's a small thing. To me, that was a major key. When he dropped that on me, I was like, oh, this is major. I'm definitely paying attention to this. We need to respect our elderly. It needs to be an honor to be old. We need to return to that. There was a time when that was the case. It needs to be that way again. Being old needs to be an honor. We need to learn from these people. We need to gain whatever wisdom we can from these people. This is the backbone. We're where we're at because of what they did. And we need to honor them and have that respect. Stay frosty, people.